You know 14th Street, if that means anything to you. And we've been friends ever since. I don't say that lightly, that we were friends. Honestly, in life, I feel I have, I know a lot of people, I have a lot of acquaintances, but a small handful of good friends. Larry was definitely one of those. So, I'm trying all the tricks to tell you not to get upset. Squeezing my hand, I'm taking breaths. So let's reflect a bit on Larry. Man, I always admired his sense of adventure. We took so many fun trips together. Skiing, snowboarding trips, cycling, mountain biking trips, whitewater rafting trips. We raced triathlons together, we ran marathons together. Always admired Larry being up for an adventure, up for a challenge, keen to push himself on something. Always respected that. I also really admired his resilience, right? I mean, it was obviously in full bloom these last 9-10 years, but a more subtle example of his resilience is, as Rhonda mentioned, he always loved to run, right? Larry was a big runner. And at some point his body said, no, you can't run anymore. It's too painful, it's too difficult. And Larry said, all right, I'll pivot to something else. I'll go to cycling. Got on his road bike, bought a new bike, entered into races. Heck, he booked a trip to France. He took a trip to France. And he rode some of over the biggest mountains that are featured in the Tour de France professional bike race. So cool. But there came a point where his body just said, no, can't bike anymore. Can't run, can't bike. It's too painful, too difficult. And Larry said, all right, I'll pivot again. And this time, it was rollerblading. Oh. I was in a group text, and we would get these videos of Larry on his rollerblades, cruising around the parking lot, just jumping over things, launching off curves, doing a 180, landing backwards, like, he was getting good. But just a great example of his, he's not going to say, I'm going to give up. He's just going to carry on moving forward, doing something that he wants to do. Always respected that about Larry. I think you can't remember Larry without looking at his sense of humor, too, right? Super witty, dry sense of humor. About a month and a half ago, Brian McMahon, who's here tonight, and I were visiting Larry here in Colorado, and we were staying at his house, watching football all day. Larry's on the couch, and he was kind of in and out of sleep, and his cats were jumping around everywhere. He had 2 cats. They're jumping around everywhere, and I thought to myself, oh, what's going to happen to his cats? And so I just said, Larry was sleeping, but I said, hey, Larry, does Elena have pets? And he wakes up, doesn't miss a beat, and he says, Elena, no, she doesn't have pets, but she's about to.
We feel bad for the cats.
He understood the gravity of the situation. He knew why I was asking the question, but he just found a a really witty way to make us all laugh about it. Yeah, I'd say most of all though, he was just a really good human. You could trust Larry. He was respectful to people. He acted with integrity. He's just a good person, right? And so I just want to acknowledge that I'm grateful to be here today with all of you to celebrate the life of a good friend and a really good human. Thanks.